Welcome to the Warrior's Way Home podcast.
They say there's a thin line between love and hate. And man, for some of us, we have to be a lot faster if we cross that line. What up, guys? So how you guys doing, man? Hope you guys are all doing better than good, better than the great on this Friday, man. Welcome to the live stream, where today we are talking about yes, there's a thin line between love and hate, but we are talking about something that inspired this conversation, which is the Sha'Carri Richardson debacle that has, recently kicked up, where her and her man apparently got into it at the airport, which is probably not the best place to have, some kind of spat or,
lovers quarrel.
Lovers quarrel, public display of brutality. Luckily, I guess it didn't get the fisticuffs, but she ended up getting arrested in the situation, man. And just looking at the whole situation, if you thought it was just that, you think it would just end there. But when you start digging into it, man, the relationship just sounds toxic as hell, bro. And that's, kind of what we're digging into, is just how dangerous toxic relationships can be for us as men. Yeah, man. How you doing, Ed? How's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty well. I think I had a good week. We had a really productive meeting this morning.
No fisticuffs at airports?
No, man. I have been running through a couple of airports here recently, and luckily, no DVs, no crazy people worrying about. Actually, no. When we got to Bulgaria, did we see a couple get arrested because they were like public intoxication. The cops were really nice. I was interested in seeing what like European police were like, but they gave this guy like 87 chances, and not until he started breaking shit by the TSA did he actually like get hands put on him, kind of thing. So it was crazy to watch. I got the footage, but yeah, I would not be the one getting caught doing nothing crazy in airports.
Well, maybe if she was in Europe, she would have got away with it. Maybe it would have played out better for her than doing it right in front of the TSA.
Yeah,
apparently,
the worst
man.
place.
Actually, they got footage, so we're gonna check this out real quick, because they actually got footage of the whole incident that went on.
Footage shows her shoving him multiple times before police arrived right here in this corner. Officers were called to TSA security after she pushed him in a packed terminal right outside security checkpoint 4. She was then booked into jail and then released the next day. This week, she addressed what happened on her social media.
You see how small she is, though? Like, she wasn't doing no damage, but I think it's just the fact that she was being aggressive in the airport and you don't know what she's going to do. Yeah. That was why TSA was like, nah, we're not having this kind of thing. But yeah.
You got to keep your hands to yourself, man.
You got to keep your hands to yourself.
You got to keep your hands to yourself, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how, we both know this, a smaller person who, the only thing to say is she's probably not trained. It's like a smaller person can take down a bigger person. A woman can take down a man. I don't suggest a woman trying to take down a man. I highly don't suggest that. We always tell women, it's like, this is like last resort. If you can do anything, get away. But in this situation, and here's the thing, man, if that was reversed and even the size was the same, we would, people wouldn't be saying, well, but she's small. Oh, but he's tiny. It's like, no, that wouldn't be a conversation. They'd be like, why did you put your hands on her at all? Even if you didn't smack around, just pushing her or anything like that, that wouldn't have been tolerated if it was a dude. So
if anything,
it's like, should
shout out to the TSA.
Yeah.
Because they were like, nope, this is just this is a personal safety issue. We're just gonna deal with it the same way we would deal with any situation. So I guess in that instance, for sure, you're right. But I was just like, oh man, that's not even. So I could see why she was in such protest, the footage that we'll see later, when she was talking to the cops and everything. You know what I mean? I can see why she was like, oh, this is not going to be nothing.
And you know the funny thing is that this dude actually defended her
Mm.
in the process. He actually really tried to de-escalate the situation because he knew that she was about to get in trouble when the cops
Yeah.
showed up. He's like, oh no, uh, but it's one of those things, man. It's like, just be real about it. Is like, I've never been in a situation where it got handsy or anything like that. It never got to that point. But man, toxic, that shit is draining as hell, bro. And that's one thing I noticed in the conversation. He looked tired.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
homeboy looked tired
Yeah.
in the thing. Here, let me pull up the footage of that one.
He said, Exhibit A, a man with a broken spirit.
This is a man who messed with the wrong woman.
Yeah.
Because man, that's one of the quickest ways for a guy for his life to get. Just think about it. You got two not athletes, two track stars that are probably on their way to probably some competition or something like that, if I had to guess, who now find themselves all over the man's internet and all over,
Yeah.
because there's nothing else really going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where it's like, you probably didn't make the best choices, bro. Now you find yourself in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're just sitting in the airport.
So you guys having just a rough patch in your relationship? What's going on? Okay. So you tell me that got heated. Did you lay hands on her?
No, it's nothing like that.
She didn't lay hands on you? You sure? No pushing, no hitting, none of that. Just verbal heat exchange.
Just chill.
If that's all it is, it's none of our business. Okay. So if you guys make it on the plane, maybe you should.
He does look tired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bro.
That's what,
Nah.
it's like, this is not what I was planning on doing today. He's like, I just wanted to chill.
Right. Now, supposedly, she caught him being sneaky or doing something, and that was her addressing it. I don't think it should be addressed.
So now we're just sitting.
That's my bad.
I don't think it should be addressed in the public. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for those times where people are putting their hands on each other, doing it in public is never a good thing, because those who are brave enough to intervene, because as we talked about on the show previously, you don't really want to get into anybody else's business because of your own personal safety and the things that you got going on. But if people decide to step in and something happens to them, and this is your routine, this is just what y'all do, and y'all gonna go be, going right back to the crib to do it all over again tomorrow. Now you're getting other people hurt and in your business and stuff like that, because they don't know what's going on, and you're sitting there the same way she was trying to curse him out and all this stuff because she thought she was going to get away with it. Like you were saying, she was also asking him to defend her when things got real.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
That changed.
He's used to that back and
real
forth.
quick. That changed real quick. Yeah. So we'll get some background in some of this so people know exactly what we're talking about, because most people probably aren't really up on what's happening, and we'll get into it. So let me actually pull up the one where she's actually talking, man. And people are like, man, why would you guys be talking about this? It's like, because actually, this is one of those things that goes to what guys are, what situations guys are finding themselves in, and honestly, putting ourselves in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm. By not choosing the right woman, by not vetting your partner a bit more, or
Right. Mm-hmm. Was there any type of physical assault?
No, I didn't touch him. He didn't touch me. I will be honest.
Lies.
No, I haven't hit him or anything. Not at all. He had headphones that were mine, and I just grabbed the headphones, but not physically. If you would like to ask me, you can ask him, but I don't want anything.
I just want to get your side.
Okay, absolutely. You can ask him whatever you need to ask him. But yeah, you're a coward.
Is it
See that dig?
Sha'Carri. Thank you so much, Sha'Carri.
What's your phone number for you?
all right, trying to be all cordial.
You're a coward.
Professional, but still feeling how you feeling.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But you're a coward. You just had to throw that in there. You're sitting there talking to the police, and you still take time, guys. This is like a red flag 101 class right here. It's like, if you get into a situation, no matter whether it's your fault or not your fault, and the police get called for some reason, or you're arguing or something's happening, and the woman decides that while she's talking to the cops, that she wants to take a dig at you even while she's talking to the cops, probably a woman that you don't want to mess with. It's probably a woman that's going to take you down through there, is going to just cause hell in your life. And probably somebody you probably should run from. He's a runner. Why is he not running? He's just, he definitely should be running from this chick, man. 100%, absolutely.
Well, he probably, if they're teammates, if they're both on the same, male female track team, he probably knew her before the fame kind of thing. So she probably wasn't always like that, but she understood, like, she probably getting a little money now. So she thought she could buy her way out of maybe, lower grade situations. You know what I'm saying? Money exposes people to who they truly are, not making any judgments. I'm just saying, like, he's probably used to her to a certain, one type of Sha'Carri and then another type that he's dealing with now. As you can see, she can be kind of not two-faced, but still, like you said, throwing those digs, throwing those jabs, but still pleading for help when she gets arrested.
Yeah. Just my ratchet sense is just going off. Off the charts right now. Let's take a look at this last one, and then we'll hop into the bigger topic surrounding this whole thing.
I got you.
Me right now.
Yep, he's under arrest.
I'm under arrest right now. What am I under arrest for? Christian, are you serious right now? Okay. I didn't assault him though.
You have video cameras.
I literally we were having an argument. I'm not resisting, so you don't have to do it harder. Christian, are you serious right now? Christian.
Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
He's like, he doesn't get a say. It's like the TSA called the police on YouTube, not him.
Yeah. Right.
It's just
sad.
It is to see all this kind of play out. Like I said, it's one of those things where we can be our worst enemy in a lot of cases. We can be our worst enemy, and then the people we choose, to have around us. Because, I'm just gonna say it. I don't think that's probably the first time that something like this has probably popped off. That either one of them has put hands on the other. Because for the very first time that an incident where people do get handsy with each other, for that to be at the airport, I don't believe that. I don't believe that one. It seems like there's probably been a history, a pattern of because even I think one part that it didn't show was she was saying she had said, assault. She's like, I could show you him, proof of him assaulting me. And I was like, it's one of those relationships.
If it's necessary.
Yeah. Well, she threw him under the bus. When she saw she was getting in trouble, she was like, I can show you proof that he's assaulted me. Yeah, I was like, yeah. So this is one of those ones where you two might be, playing pity pat with each other. It's like you hit him, and then y'all full blown. He just maybe had more. I don't know. Either he was just done with it, or he had more sense not to do it in the airport.
I think he definitely had more sense not to do it there. And like you said, the cops said that TSA called the police, but she blames him because he's the reason why she's upset while she's going off in the first place. So you made me do this.
Yeah, right. That
type
one.
of thing.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? Why would you make me do this? But she tried to buy it. She tried to bribe her way out of it, low key. She was like, do you know who I am? Type of. She pulled that for a hot minute. But also was trying to figure out like, yo, who can I call to get me out of this right now? And she's like, and they're like, nobody. Like, you keep asking, there's nobody. You have to go see a judge now. Like, we're committing assault in an airport, no matter how it looks, no matter how strong or you are or not. We saw that you were assaulting this person, and even though they didn't say anything, because that would have made it look worse. If he actually did call the police on her, then they'd be like, okay, that's a bad look. But it's just, no, you are doing this in are airports considered federal? I don't know if they're federal, but this is you're doing it
because they usually have federal employees there at airports. So I think the TSA are considered federal employees. So you did in front of federal employees. Yeah. It's just a mess, man. But like I said, it's one of those things where there's something there's a saying like this isn't the first time you guys have had a domestic violence situation pop off. Probably. I definitely don't think it's the first time she's probably put hands on a dude. She's seen. And what's funny, man? I wish I had pulled that up. There was some woman that was almost like Yeah, I knew it. I knew she was the type to put hands on a man. I knew she was that. I just had a feeling that she was that type of. I knew she was my girl. I knew she.
Well,
I was like,
birds of a feather.
whoa,
That's your girl.
what? Yeah, that's she
Miss
was
Birds of a
really.
Feather.
She was so hyped up and
She
almost like
knew it.
happy to see this woman put her hands on a man.
Wow.
And it was just like, I was like, what? And there are women, guys, we got to be careful. There are women out there like that will put hands on you. I don't even really play fight with girlfriends, women I date, because I just know what's going to go wrong. I was like, this is not, no, this is not going to go well. It's like, you're going to get hurt and I'm going to feel bad about it. It's like, no, I don't want the women that like, I mean, I've had women that I've known who are like, oh, you, and they do the push thing or like they hit you in the shoulder. I'm like, hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me like that. It's like we don't play like that. We don't play like that because it's like, because the minute I do that to you, is gonna be a problem. It's like, let's not even start that. I don't want you getting, because it starts with the nudge or the push, and then next thing you know, when they're mad at you, you get slapped on the back, or next thing you know, you're catching slaps to the face, bro. It's like, don't play. Dude, if I can give any advice to guys, it's like, don't play like that with women. Don't allow women to smack, slap, hit you, anything like that. Don't even let that stuff start. Soon if that even happens, cut that shit off immediately. You're like, hey, don't do that again.
The only place I think where it is acceptable is the dojo, because if you're sparring, I've sparred with women, and I think it's good because they need to understand, like, not necessarily a man's power, but just understanding, like, if a man wanted to tee off on you, it's very well possible he could, and you should be careful. But you should also know how to defend yourself, because counters are a thing, cutting angles are a thing, making sure that if they're trying to grab you, breaking holds is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Being able to get yourself to a space where you can like properly defend yourself. If it's pepper spray, one of those, what is it? It's like the super small Kupaton or something like that. Something where you can just either manipulate pressure points or hit temples or whatever.
The
like little metal rods.
I know what you're talking about.
I forgot what, because there was a woman that I worked with when I was working in Kentucky. I was working at a brokerage firm, and she was getting harassed by a guy in our parking lot. We had cameras everywhere except for the parking garage, and he would like harass her on a regular basis. And when she finally told us, like, I went and got her one, but then they were like, hey, you shouldn't bring this in the building and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man. But I was for real about that. Like, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should never feel that vulnerable. And people should never feel comfortable putting their hands on you. Let's start there. Nobody should ever feel comfortable just putting hands on somebody else without their consent. You know what I mean?
Because it can you never know how people are going to react to it, man. It's like, because I mean, I tell women this all the time. It's like, there are dudes who will hit you back. It's like, so you might want to keep your hands to yourself. It's like, because it's like, I won't hit you back. That man won't hit you back, but there are definitely women. There are definitely dudes out here that will hit you back,
for sure.
You slap the wrong dude, man. You're catching black eyes. You walk around here looking like a raccoon.
I don't want that. It's not a good look.
I'm just saying, not everybody plays the same, man. Not everybody plays the same.
Sure.
But it's one of those things that, as bad as I feel about seeing that and how it plays out, especially to of course two young black, I was like, of course it's two black people in the airport fighting while all this cruise line crap is going on and people fighting on Frontier and Spirit Airlines. Like, why does it always look like us?
Right.
That was disappointing. But
that's what I don't understand. White people fight in traffic, black folks fight on airplanes. make that make sense. And cruise ships. Why are we always fighting on cruise ships? Well, that would make sense because we don't trust boats. But airports.
Wow. But they got on that boat.
Yes.
You got on that by choice this time. Anyway, we're not even going there. Damn.
Oh man.
Wow. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, as disappointing as it was, man, is like the biggest thing is that it's a choice, man. He chose to put
Yeah.
himself in that situation. Like I said, I seriously doubt that this is the first situation he's found himself in with her. I absolutely doubt that. I don't think it would take much looking to find that they, probably have history, or
Yeah.
both of them have probably a history of some kind of domestic violence or some stupid stuff like that. Yeah, man, it's so for him to put himself in that situation.
Mhm.
And my question is this: is like, have you heard anything about? Are they still together?
Personally, I don't care, but no, I haven't heard
I
anything
do.
about
I
it.
do, because I'm like, if you stayed after making the news like that, not just having an
Yeah.
instant, but having an instant in public, it's all over the internet now and all over the
Yeah.
news, because some little woman put her hands on you and
Yeah.
felt okay enough to put her hands on you,
Yeah.
and you stay.
Oh yeah, no, it's a
In my
bad
mind,
look.
you're a chump. I just gotta be real about it.
So, do you know about Krishan Rock and Blueface, the rapper?
I've heard of
Okay.
yeah, I've heard of them. Mhm.
That
I
that is
know
a
of
much
them.
more, yeah, yeah, yeah. You really don't want to know too much. I know too much.
I know they're
But
both really ratchet. That's what I know of them.
yeah, they've taken it to a higher level where like they've been doing it on reality TV. They was fighting each other's parents. It was a whole, yeah. Yeah, like he was fighting her dad, and she was fighting her mom, and maybe his dad, I don't know. But they've and have been putting hands on each other for a very long time. They're no longer together. But the reason why I don't care about this one is because I've seen what feels like the worst of what we have right now. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And so it's like I'm detached. I can't get into all that, but especially because I'm trying to have a peaceful relationship myself, and understanding like I've seen enough of that growing up, just from friends and people and interacting with certain folks. And I'm just like, I can't do it. I
Yeah.
can't. You can have the argument, don't touch me, or whatever, but I can't. It's too much.
Mhm.
Your relationship, especially the person that you're intimate with, is supposed to be a place of peace. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's supposed to be a refuge. And why are you competing with me, or why are you trying to put hands on me, man or woman? You know what I mean? It's just, why is that? Because some people say they like the excitement of it. I had a partner that he would love a good toxic relationship, and if you're not screaming at me, you don't love me. And it's like, why is that your default? Why
Trauma.
is that the thing?
It's called
Has to be.
trauma.
If you don't want a relationship, you want a trauma bond with somebody. But why? What good is that? You don't know any other type of love. We need to get you some other type of love, because this is not it.
We need to get you
This is
some
not it.
therapy.
You know what I mean? Some
and
emotional
and
regulation, some
and
boundaries
what
are
and while I'm
needed.
laughing at this, man, it's like the reason I really want to talk about this, because I've been in toxic relationships before. It's not like I
Yeah,
haven't been in them. Like I said, I just haven't been in ones where it got physical, but I have
yeah,
been definitely in toxic relationships. It's like one thing I talked about on the on our Instagram was the time I was in an apartment with a girl I was dating in
hmm
her old apartment, and ended up having to confront a guy with a machete. That's
yeah. I remember
fucking
that.
toxic, bro.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like that's some
It wasn't a
toxic
gift.
shit. It's like
Yeah,
that's not one of those things. It's like everybody's like, oh, I've had that situation too. I've confronted a guy with a machete because a girl I was dating too. Yeah, that happens to everybody. No,
right,
that does not happen to everybody.
right.
It's like, and just to sort of the background of the story. So I was dating this girl, had been dating her too long, and she had moved out of the apartment that she was in, because the guy she was dating at the time had moved in and basically just was, a homosexual, just didn't leave.
Homosexual. Yeah,
Yeah. He just didn't leave. He moved in. He started coming over and then just stayed. Just wasn't paying rent. I don't even know if he had a job. Was one of those dudes,
yeah.
and was just terrorizing this chick, man. And the funny thing, she had a roommate. She had another roommate, a female roommate, and she found out real quick that the dude she was dating was a toxic pile of sludge, and the fucking roommate was a toxic pile of sludge. It's like, because the roommate didn't stop any of this, and when she
Wow.
moved out, instead of her and the roommate getting together and trying to figure out a way to move this dude out, nope, she
Just
was the one
bounced.
who left. The roommate stayed, and the dude stayed. which tell me what was going on there.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't know if dude was just like, I don't know if he had a baby arm, if he was packing, or if he just could lay pipe. I have no idea what was going on with that situation.
If you're couch surfing,
You know, it's like, dude, you can't be a bum and terrible in bed.
Right.
Choose one. It's like, so anyway, so she ended up leaving, just left all her stuff and moved out. Because basically, dude was just, I don't know if he actually put hands on her. She never actually said, but the way she was scared of this dude, I'm assuming he did.
Right.
So needless to say, the more I found out about this guy, the more I really wanted to meet him. So anyway, we go over one night to go get her stuff, and they had changed the locks and stuff like that. But she was on the lease. You know, her name was on the lease, so it was her apartment. So long story short, and not to incriminate myself, we got into the apartment. Somehow we got in, and we got into the room where her stuff was getting stored, even though, you know, they tried to padlock it and all kinds of crap like that. It was wild. So we got in there and started getting her stuff, and nobody was in the apartment. And so we're sitting there, and I'm talking to her while she's getting her stuff, and she's freaking out. I'm like, just get your stuff and we'll go. So while she's getting her stuff, I hear keys at the door, and I'm like, shit, here we go. It's like, okay, it's either the roommate or old boy, one of the two. Roommate's supposed to be at work, so I don't think it's her. So door opens up. Guess who it is? Oh boy. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, she gets terrified. I got excited. I'm not gonna lie and pretend like I was I really handled myself in a honorable way. I wasn't feeling very honorable at that moment. It was like
Travis was feeling like Batman. He was like, please resist.
I was like, please cause a problem. Please cause a problem. Because the law's on my side. I'm in her apartment with her name on the lease. Your name's not on the lease. You don't pay any bills here. You're an intruder.
Right.
So
Squatter.
if you do something, I was scared.
Right.
I was terrified.
I was standing my ground.
I was terrified, officer. I think I peed a little. I was terrified. Is that why there's blood everywhere? It's like, I was so scared.
Right.
I was so just me and my little girlfriend. I was just terrified.
I thought it was my blood.
Anyway, so he came in, and he was not happy to see us for whatever reason. And so he got upset, and like I said, most dudes, and we talked about this, most guys who put their hands on women don't tend to want to face guys.
Yeah.
You know, the guys who terrorize women and really cause problems and really take it to that point usually don't want no problems with dudes, either because they can't actually fight or whatever reason it may be, or they get their word, they can get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
So he got all huffy, and she had warned me previously that he had a tendency to go get a machete. I'm guessing he was Haitian. I'm guessing that's not no. Hey, don't come for me. I'm just saying what I'm pretty sure she told me he was Haitian. I'm just saying, happens to be a coincidence. So he went and got him. He would go and get his machete when he got mad, and would like hack at the cabinets. And I'm like, well, you're gonna lose your fucking deposit, because if he's hacking up kitchen cabinets, that's just dumb. And so he got upset, and he was like, what are you guys doing here? I was like, don't worry about it. We're just getting her stuff. I was like, go about your business. And he said, what are you doing in my apartment? I said, this isn't your apartment. This is hers. I said, your name's not even on the lease, bro. Who are you? I said, don't worry about it. He's like, I think it's almost like, I'm the muscle. I was like, I was like, I'm the muscle. That's what I'm here for. He's like, I'm security, securing the premises. Yeah. So, he got all huffy, and I was like, is there a problem? And I just remember him just looking at me and just being like, man, and walked away. And I'm like, of course. It's like, so my Batman moment felt like it was over. I was like, right. And then he comes out of this room, and I see him with the machete in his hand, and I'm like, yes. It's like finally, all these years of training, all the self-defense, all the combat, all the
Mhm.
multiple, training for multiple opponents, all the, nights doing security at bars and throwing people out and getting into fights and all this other stupid shit. Finally, a guy with a big knife, so like, who I know doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing, man, thinking it was going to intimidate me. Went in the kitchen and started talking. He's like walking back and forth, talking to himself, like he's crazy. It's like, oh man, he doesn't know who he's fucking with. Da, 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 walking back and forth, and I'm like, and I just remember just smiling, just like, oh,
Mhm.
and the door's open. I just closed the door behind me. She's like, what's going on? I said, don't worry about it. I just closed the door, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, come on. And I was like, bro, I said, I'm not scared of you, bro. I said, that's just that's a butter knife in your hands. So I'm not scared at all. I said, you can scare her with that type of shit. I said, but I know you're not going to actually do anything.
Mhm.
I said, if you decide to, do it. Don't just don't pull a weapon. Don't pull a weapon that you don't plan on using.
Yeah.
Okay. And for those guys who do a lot of like peacocking and posturing and stuff like that, the guys who like to pull up their shirt and show their gun, dude, don't show a weapon that you're not ready to use.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you? Because legally here in Colorado, I'll put it this way. I'll give some game. Here in Colorado, if with him pulling out that machete, walking out of that room, brandishing a weapon, a machete, if I had a gun and shot him in that situation, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble for that. Just giving you game. So don't pull a weapon that you're not prepared to use.
For sure.
So don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
And those are red flags too. Like, and that's for anybody. Anybody who tries to pull anything on you. It doesn't matter if it's sharp, dull, loaded, not any. You start threatening people with violence. One, if you need to be working your way out of that situation from there. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who is, you guys get to argue and he's balling a fist up or she's balling a fist up, or a lot of the hand waving, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this type motions. I remember a lot of arguments that would take place with man or woman at any time, like it's that rear forward, it's all body language, you know what I'm saying? And they have their fist in their hand. And it's like, I'm just trying to talk to and it's
I'm just trying to talk, and then they sucker punch your ass.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like being able to take, because really what Travis is talking about is those verbal cues. You know what I'm saying? Like you're asking a lot of questions, pretending to talk to yourself, brandishing a weapon, even if you're not touching somebody with it, you're showing it, and you're causing, property damage or whatever. If it's your shit, fine. If it's not, even worse, because now you can owe for that too. But you're just racking up charges at that point. And I'm at that age
and I
where
was
like
loud.
anytime something goes wrong, like I just start like, all right, well, that's DV, that's attempted murder, that's this and that. And it's
you
like,
threatened me, you pulled a weapon, you're hacking and stuff, you're making threats, you're being being loud and abrasive. You're not even supposed to be in this apartment. I'm talking loud so that the neighbors hear the fact that you have a machete in your hand right now. So it's like I'm not gonna pretend like I wasn't setting up the scenario to work.
I'm about to say set up the scene,
because I absolutely setting the scenario to work in my favor. And people be like, oh man, it's like that sounds all right. Look, I was young and I was angry. And it was an opportunity for me to unleash.
It was like, who the cops gonna believe?
It was an opportunity. Now, would I do that now? No, because I know that's some toxic bullshit that I was involved in. But at the time, with me feeling the way I was feeling, I was like, I was ready for that moment. I was loving life at that moment. He didn't actually end up doing anything, which severely disappointed me. But so I didn't get to have my my action movie moment. It's like, but but it was a lesson that I look back at stuff like that now, where I was like, at the time I was like, it's a fun, funny story. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, that was some toxic shit, man. It's like to find yourself in that situation now, and dangerous, because it's like, because that easily could have not been a machete. That could have been a gun that homeboy had. And if he actually was if he was actually crazy in that situation, that could have ended very differently. It's like, that could have, I could have ended up having to put somebody down. in that situation, or got put down myself.
Very true.
You
I've
know,
seen.
it's like, so that's some stupid shit to be in. And I look back at that, I'm like, why was I? It's like, okay, as amusing as it is to me, and as fun as an experience as that was at the time, I look back at it now, like, that was dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, that is like,
For
bro,
sure.
that was, why were you even involved in that situation at all?
I've seen too many World Star videos that are basically over those same type of situations.
Yeah.
Two guys messing with the same chick, or two chicks messing with the same guy, or somebody is trying to defend the person that's beating them up from the police or other friends and all that kind of stuff, because they're just trying to keep them safe. Like, you care so much about this abuser that you were willing to put other people at harm or in some type of risk, including the police or whatever the may be. It's like, you need to, there's some deep work that needs to be done there before you get into another relationship. You know what I mean? Or you decide to continue to mess with people that you're messing with, because if you don't know peace, all you will do is start to cause chaos in other people's lives yourself. You know what I mean? If you can't sit straight unless you're up under somebody, whether they're toxic or not, or you think I don't know, man. It's a lot that goes into that. There's so many red flags that come about, and memories that I'm like, on my own version of PTSD.
Well, let's get into it, man. Let's get into the red flags.
Yeah.
So we talked about the dangers of
Yeah.
how, this can get. What are some red flags to even avoid finding yourself in these situations, man? One thing I would say, even learning from that situation and other situations I had, is if you're dealing with a woman and all of the things she has to say about exes are these like deep, dark traumas, and everybody's a narcissist, and he was violent, and he put his hands on me, and this person did this, and this person did that, they took advantage of me. You're a drama magnet. Is like, okay, so every situation you've been in, most of them have been violent, toxic, abusive, and draining.
Yeah.
Why would I get in a relationship with you?
Right.
Because if I'm none of those things,
right.
Because if that's what you attract, and I'm not that, are you going to attract that when I'm with you? Am I going to find myself? And to be honest with you, and she was a really good person. I have nothing bad to say about her. Just the fact that she found herself in a lot of chaotic situations, way more than was
people
necessary.
Find themselves in very chaotic situations, though. Because that's the thing. We talk about those control dramas.
Good, but I would say she was a good person, but there was definitely some unresolved trauma there for sure. Absolutely. And I have my own, so I can't say too much shit about her.
No, it's not talking shit.
Situation. No, I'm just saying. I'm putting that caveat on there just in case she's watching. Yeah. It's like, I'm not gonna name any names or anything, but I have my own shit going on too. Otherwise, why would I be in the apartment that's not mine with a dude with a machete, just excited? It's like, obviously I had my own damn issues that I had to deal with.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's like, those people have been like, time to leave. I was like, oh, time for fun. There's something wrong there. There's probably something wrong there, because it's one of those situations that I didn't have to, be that excited about this, but I was. But yeah, I mean, so to have these situations popping off, and to be drawing them in, and be having to get involved in these situations because I'm dealing with you, and finding myself in these dramatic, and then that wasn't of course that wasn't the last thing to happen, but that having somebody say that there's a bullet with my name on it because of this situation. And you would never think that you would find yourself in this situation if you knew this woman, if you knew this girl, because she's just soft, dainty, loved pink, real feminine, all these different things. Like, you wouldn't expect there to be all this shit that comes with this, but it did. I found myself in situations that I was like, I don't have anything to even fucking do with this.
Yeah.
It's like, yet I find myself in this situation because it either involves you, they're actually involved in this, or it has something to do with somebody
Yeah.
And I find myself in dumb places doing dumb shit.
The biggest red flag that pops up to me is kind of when we talk about those control dramas,
Mhm.
and where we go through that, like, kind of those people who are like, oh, woe is me, oh, why does this keep happening to me,
Yeah.
where, like, yeah, their intention might be to get out of situations like that, but because until they resolve that issue, they're going to keep attracting these things because they still feel victimized. So
Mhm.
basically, anybody who this feels a little rough. Anybody who who has the perspective or perception of themselves as a victim is
Mhm.
a red flag, because then nothing is your fault. You're not
Oh,
taking
facts.
accountability
Mhm.
for your involvement in whatever is happening in your life. I can't stand to be around those type of people, because especially as a man, you have to take responsibility for just about everything, even the shit that is not your fault.
Yeah.
But when you start running into those people who are like, oh, I just can't seem to do right, and you try to fix them, or you try to insert yourself into that situation, you're in the wrong there.
Yeah.
But also, you are choosing to entertain this person, where if you decide that you can fix them, then that drama is also going to get drawn into your attention, and you will find yourself in a situation where you have nothing to do with this, and somehow it is now your biggest issue.
Mhm.
So then you got to detach yourself from two people, them and they crazy ass exes or baby mamas, or whatever, baby daddies, or all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
And one thing is, man, you gotta look at yourself in that situation, because I chose to be involved in that. So as much as I may say it's like, oh, I was in these situations because of you, it's like, no, I was in these situations because of me,
Hmm.
because who I was okay being around that.
Right.
It's like, it's not one of those things where it's like I said, now there's certain things that would happen. I look back, if this was to repeat, I wouldn't have involved
Hmm.
myself at all in this
Yeah.
situation. I'd be like, nope, I'm out. Nope.
Yeah.
With certain women that I've dealt with, I wouldn't even catch my attention.
Hmm.
Wouldn't be able to even talk to me, and that's not to make myself sound like I'm all this, but it's like, nope. It's like, it's almost like you could feel it. Like, no, everything in me's telling me to avoid you, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
go this way. It's just
Yeah.
like,
And
so,
if
but who I was at that moment, I was craving, the part of me had been craving drama and bullshit, and for some reason, because I found myself in those situations, even with friends. And so we're not just relationship, with friends too. I had friends where, they had a lot of bullshit going on, and ended up in fights because of
yeah.
the people I was hanging out with,
Right.
and like real jacked up, real messed up situations that could have easily landed me in jail because of who I was hanging out with at the time and who I was at the time.
Yeah.
So it's not all
Yeah.
on them. There's like, I had a lot to do with it too. So we got to, even with red flags, you got to look at your own red flags as
Hmm.
well. It's like you looking at everybody else and be like, oh yeah, no, this person's fucked up and this person's jacked up and she's, something's wrong with her, and he's a hoe and da 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 da. This person's all messed. What about you?
Yeah.
Because in all these situations, you're the one main character in every situation that you find yourself in. So you
It's
got to look
common
at your red
denominator.
flags as well.
Yeah, for sure. You
You know,
you're the common denominator in all of your life experiences. You know
yeah,
what I
you're the
mean?
main character in
And
all of it.
what I was seeing, and what Sha'Carri was doing was, she was playing a little bit of that, oh, woe is me too, because yeah,
Yeah,
she was the one getting arrested, but she was like, I'm complying. Why are you doing this if I'm complying? I'm famous. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just a boyfriend girlfriend thing. Like, it's
yeah,
just, you're
I
trying to
know, right?
minimize the thing. You're trying to minimize the fact that you were in this situation, but you were in the situation as the aggressor.
Yeah.
So you're like, you can't fathom how you are in the wrong here whatsoever, and so
Hmm.
everything is his fault, and he has to come save you and all that stuff. No, we saw you, all of TSA, under God, saw you put hands on this man, and he wasn't even the one that got you in trouble. You got yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
you 100% got to take accountability, no matter who you are in the situation, of how things are shaking out for you.
Facts. Facts. I would say another red flag is how a woman argues.
Mm,
If every time you get into it with a woman, it always goes way further than it needs to over some
mm-hmm,
basic stuff, like
mm,
you don't agree on what movie to go see, and for whatever reason, everything ends in a screaming match or somebody stomping away, or um, you getting cussed out or something along those lines. If all these situations in that way, that's a huge red flag, bro. You're gonna have nothing, but that means that woman cannot regulate her emotions at all, and
What
is
is it
willing
called?
to disrespect you in a lot of ways.
Bratty behavior.
Yep.
Dealing with a brat.
hmm
Nah, I
Yep.
would prefer not
It's
to.
like that. That's that's one of those things that, man. It's like you gotta be real careful with that situation, because that can turn into a Sha'Carri situation. Because
Hmm.
like I said, it can real easy go from, if you allow a woman to just say, there are levels. There are always levels, and we talk about, we've heard, plenty of guys have heard about the shit test. Women will
Yeah,
shit test you. They will always test to see how far they can get. Anybody will. All people do it.
yeah,
All humans always test people to see how far, how much can I get away with you. We do
hmm
it. We do it. Unconsciously. Women are notorious for doing it with men, and the more they feel like they can get away with you, like if your first argument they can start yelling at you and you don't bring it up, you're not like, hey, 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 don't talk to me that way. Is like, hey,
hmm
bring it down. We don't need to yell. If you don't address that, the next time she's gonna do the same thing. Probably the next
yeah,
time, and it's gonna get louder and louder, and the words are gonna start changing. It's gonna be, because you can talk, you can yell at somebody and still be kind of respectful, but it's real easy to slip into that, oh, you bastard, or you dumb, you're an idiot, whatever it may be, and start getting real disrespectful with it, and it just ratchets up, man. And the less you deal with that, the less you
yeah,
address that, the worse it's gonna be, and eventually it can get to the point where, if you let her walk over you enough and not handle the situation, not leave the situation or handle it, it can turn into a Sha'Carri situation if she thinks she can push it that far.
for sure,
Women only
for
do
sure.
what we allow. People only do what we allow them to do. But with the
Yeah,
guys, it's like a woman is like, oh man, I can't believe she talked to me like that. So you let her talk to you like that. There's another guy that doesn't allow that. There's probably
right.
another guy who would, shut her off and be like, nah, I can't even deal with you because of your mouth. No, we're
And
not
she'll
even gonna do
follow
that.
that guy. She'll actually, yeah, she will have more respect for him
hmm
because he nipped it off at the bud. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
didn't allow it to grow into anything where he had to address 4 or 5 different issues at the end of the day. No, it was like, no, the first time you do something incorrect, it has to be addressed.
yeah,
And you can reel it in, but it's much harder when she's gotten to a further extent. You've given her 4 or 5 different chances. You know what I mean? Like, no, you get the one, and then that should be the end of it. And if it's not, I got to move on. I got to do something
yeah.
else because this is not where I'm supposed to be. And then
hmm
either she'll change her behavior or you go find somebody else. You take your ball and go home.
Yeah, yeah, man. So that's a huge red flag for me. What
Mhm.
would you say is another one for you? Other than that,
Yeah, last one, and then we can move on. I would say the last one for me is did you talk about bringing up the exes already? I think you did.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bringing up the exes and the way they talk about them, all of them are narcissists and beaters and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
I got one way
I would
you
say
can
that
think of.
two-faced behavior. No, I got one. I would say
You
that
know,
two-faced behavior. Like when she was trying to be all buddy and nice and professional with the cops, but then was shooting jabs at him like
yeah.
right across. You know what I'm saying? That it's that comfortability. Well, I guess that's the same as the last one. What would you say your other one was? Sorry.
Women who try and weaponize emotions.
Yes.
Women who cry all the
Yeah.
time the minute
Yeah.
something. I heard somebody say, a lot of times with women, when they get into, and I've said this, women's kryptonite is accountability.
Yeah.
And I will go to the grave saying that, because I've seen it. I've seen how it plays out. Even some of the
It's the
best
oh
women,
woe is me. Yeah.
even some of the best women, it's like the accountability thing um, is a kryptonite for a lot of women, to a certain extent. And I'm not gonna say all, but a lot. Um,
For sure.
so women who, like I said, we already talked about that, get angry and get, get all hype and start yelling or do the woe is me. Women who try and weaponize that your sympathy, they're gonna
Hmm.
cry and all these different, which could be a part of the woe is me. Who are gonna,
Yeah.
the minute you, especially if you bring something up that they're doing that's not appropriate or something like that, and they want to start crying. Why are you yelling at me? It's like, I'm just talking to you. What are you talking about? And
Right.
they start the crying thing, bro. Will not do it. I will not. It's like, nope, we're done. We are
Yeah.
done. I'm not gonna. I've dealt with one woman that did that, you know, and she was a younger chick when I was dating her. So I was probably in my 20s. She was probably 19 at the time. Bro, it seemed like if the situation was, you know, I started bringing up stuff that she was doing, or, you know, it's like, hey, you can't be doing this, this has got to stop. We're not going to be doing this. If the getting hype and getting, you know, loud didn't work, next thing you know, the tears start, the waterworks, the crocodile tears. You're not actually, and I'm just looking like, not going to work on me. This is not, and all it did was just make me disgusted. I'm like, so the first thing you tried didn't work, so now you're trying to make me feel bad for holding you accountable. Nah, bro. Nah, man. You know, it's like just that ugly cry. Nah, man. No, you are not 5. No, we're not doing this. No.
Shoot, they're doing it at
crying,
1. Eddie's doing that
bro.
right now. He don't get his way. He's start powering up like a Super Saiyan. I'm like, sir, come on now. You've been doing this for all commercial break.
But we expect kids to do it. But have a grown ass woman doing this, man. Of course, she wasn't grown up as she really should have been.
Just immature.
But doing the crying thing, bro, is like, that is, oh man, bro, run. Guys, if you have some woman that, you know, tries to weaponize it like that, like, and starts the crying thing, or wants to get all emotional, like you're, you know, like you're threatening them because you're trying to hold them accountable, bro, run, because you're gonna have nothing. You're gonna have nothing but problems with that chick. Nothing.
Right. Once you make a really good point, and then they're like, well, time to hit that release button, and they crack the glass, and the tears start, and all of a sudden you're apologizing.
Time to get my Emmy.
Right. trying to get a Soul Train award. Like, what? Come on, man.
Here's my Oscar-worthy impression of Waiting to Exhale.
Right. Exactly. But, you know, like, it's not all bad. There's a lot of red flags, but how do we make sure that men can build stronger relationships, strong and healthy relationships with their women? You know what I'm saying? So we get, like, let's say we gave 4 red flags: accountability, the woe was me, weaponizing emotions, and what was the last one? What was the first one? Bringing up their exes. What would be 4 green flags about how they can build healthier relationships? And I would say my first one is that she will take accountability. She will actually say, hey, I was wrong. Ooh,
I'm sorry.
Even just that.
Oh my goodness, that is the biggest green flag ever. If a woman says, I'm sorry,
you might get a ring right there.
Honestly, bro. Honestly, it's like, so, you know, if a woman's looking to set me up, just tell me you're sorry for something. It's like, and you know, you might get that ring on it. Bro, it's huge, because it's so rare to be real about it. And I feels like we're kind of like really exaggerating, but all the dudes on here know, bro. Like, when was the last time you heard a woman say, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
There's some guys that have never heard it in their whole life.
Right. So you're talking about a myth right now. I'll find Bigfoot before I find a woman that say I'm sorry. Like,
in a meaningful way. Way. Not like, sorry. Not that shit. Right. Not that. It's just like, you know, like, you actually know what you did. You can verbally describe. It's like, you know what? When we were arguing the other day and I said that thing to you, I really shouldn't have did that. I'm sorry for doing that. Like, that type of sorry. Not the like, I'm sorry for what?
Right.
You know, I'm just sorry, babe. You know, it's just like, you know, it's just, yeah, but what are you sorry for? Why do you make this so difficult?
Right. So now, again,
ask me how I know this. Ask me how I know how this goes.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say that's definitely one for me. What would you say?
Oh man, yeah, that's like, I would say probably put that number 1. Another green flag would be a woman that learns how to deal with you. Like for instance, like me, is like, one thing I told women is like, if I'm, for instance, like with the Sha'Carri situation, is like the fact that they were arguing and she just kept, when women follow men, and when he's like, just leave me alone. No, we need to talk about this. That can, the opposite of that is peace there. When a woman knows, like, hey, when he's upset or in a situation, either he wants to talk about it or he doesn't want to talk about it. There's no in between. Is like, there are guys, yes, are there some guys that want to, you know, talk and have this conversation right now when something happens? Yes. Even when they're hugely upset. I'm not that guy. When I'm hugely upset, I'm like, you know what? I need some time. I need a minute.
Yeah.
I need a minute, whether it be with family, friends, girlfriends, whatever it may be. If I get upset enough, I'm like, hey, I need a minute. I need a minute. It's like, I'll come find you. It's like, you know, so women who know that and respect that, figure that out, huge green flag, because that's how, when they know how you communicate, when a woman learns that or knows how she needs to communicate with you in order to actually get her, even if she's right, even to get her point across. You know, women who understand that and are willing to respect that, respect your boundaries, and respect how, you know, you choose, you know, you communicate with them. That's a huge green flag, because that's, like I said, a lot of people, I think just people in general, tend to communicate with everybody else and expect everybody else to communicate with them the way they do. You know, it's like, well, I like to talk about everything. Even you and I have talked about certain things. It's like, you know, it's like I look, if I'm upset about something, I'm gonna go calm down first before I bring it up. It's like because my personality and my temper is like, me bringing it up right at that moment when it upsets me, not the best idea. It usually goes sideways, and I know that about myself. Now that time is shrunk that I need to like get my shit together and be like, okay, this wasn't as big of a situation that I made it out to be. I need to chill out, whatever it may be, and calm myself down to where I can, you know, resolve this in a positive way. It's like, I know that about myself. It's like, so a woman knowing that about herself, but also learning you enough to start to figure that out is a huge green flag for me. So I was basically just say, to sum it up, a woman has a high level of emotional intelligence.
She reads the book. She reads your manual. She reads your user manual, and that's not derogatory, because everybody's got one.
Yeah,
you know
which to make a point that's probably, when I think about it, I've probably seen, and this is probably something that's really a big thing, is I've seen that more with women who have had fathers and brothers and grandfathers in their life than I have with women who have grown up with single moms. I think that's one big issue I have with women who were raised by single moms, who are single moms and things like that, is they don't seem to have a lot of that, you know, of knowing how to deal with men. So, you know, it's like, so honestly, I think women who have had fathers and different things like that, who have seen how this works, were raised by men, were raised around men, know how they operate, have a huge advantage over women who haven't.
100%. Another one I would say for me is that they're supportive. You know what I mean? Like, it takes, I know that there's that stigma that women want the finished product. They want you to be healed and a millionaire and all this stuff before you even come talk to them. And in reality, that's not how it works. Anybody who's got this idea that they're gonna bag a man that makes 6 or 7 figures when you work at McDonald's, or you work somewhere that's like he's not frequenting. You know what I mean? It's like you're thinking that you deserve a certain higher standard, but you don't meet those same standards that you're trying to hold somebody else to. But it's the opposite, where they support you. They see you're on some type of come up. You're doing something with yourself. You're in school. You're working. You're not out partying all the time. You're not, you know, shoving your face into a bunch of video games. You're actually trying to produce something of value. You know, you're being a creator, or you're taking care of your family, because, you know, some women will become stepmoms, just the same way that some guys become stepdads. They see that you're trying to take care of your family. That'll be a separate conversation. But you're just the fact that you're trying to provide for your family or make some type of future for yourself. You're being productive. They want to support that. I feel like the right woman will attach herself to that vision. And I'm not to say that she won't have her own vision. She should have her own vision. She should have something that she wants to do for herself. But in being your helpmate, in being your partner, in being your whatever, you know, she wants to help support that thing. She will find ways to insert herself into that, you know. And I feel like that's something that's rare, because as we've seen, a lot of people are competing with their spouse or their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, whoever
Yep.
they're messing with, they see them as a form of competition. They just happen to be sleeping with. How is that beneficial? You need to be on the same team, because if you dividing your energy into I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna try to hold somebody from doing that thing, and you're supposed to love this person, you live under the same roof as this person,
Yeah.
you're insane. That does not work. So somebody who's supportive of your vision, and then you can help them support their vision as well. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You both can help each other grow.
Facts. I'd probably say for the last one, agreeableness. Something that it looks like Sha'Carri lacks, to be honest. not to be mean or dog her out, but it's like most people who are agreeable aren't exactly pushing somebody else around in the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, a woman being agreeable, I think, is huge. I think it's a huge tie into the femininity. It's
Yeah.
like, having somebody who like doesn't feel like they have to win, at an argument or something like that. It's like it's willing to follow, is willing to kind of follow the lead to a certain extent. Yeah, so that agreeableness is huge for me with women.
Yeah.
Honestly, because a lot of women I've run into, not women I've dealt with, but some have not been the most agreeable. It almost feels like it's a fight, over little stuff. It's like you feel like why do I don't want to compete with you. It's like I have nothing to compete with you about. It's like I'm already competing with all these other dudes. I don't want to compete with you too.
Right.
It's like, so having that agreeableness, because honestly, in general, we don't want to talk in absolutes, but in general, most guys being agreeable generally isn't a male trait.
Yeah.
We tend to be more disagreeable, the ones who are willing to bring up like, nah, I don't think that's, I'm giving that pushback, and like, nah, man, I can't. I think we're missing the mark on this, or it's like, nah, I don't really agree. I think of it like this, type deal. That tends to be more of a male trait. It tends to be, and when you see that in women, that disagreeableness, I think a lot of times that's when the problems kind of tend to arise. I'm not saying women should be, just go with what a guy says and every guy says. I'm not saying that, so let's not even get into that. What I'm saying is that women's superpower is the soft power. Women, men's power is the hard power. Women's power is the soft power. I've told all the women I know that it's like your power is in your softness. It's not in trying to be hard or trying to out hard another guy. It's like, you're not going to out hard me. That's not going to happen. This is like, you're not going to out me. No, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's like this is what I'm built for. I'm built to be raw. it's like you're not going to outdo that. That's not what you're supposed to do.
I need to put that on a shirt. You're not gonna out-rock me.
You're not gonna out-rock me.
Right? Just R.A.
That'd be a good way. You're not gonna out-rock me.
Right.
We need to write that down. That's all right. I don't know why I take it. Copyright it as of right now.
Right.
But it's. I've told every woman I know that it's like, you can get any man to do anything you want if you say it in a certain type of way. Anything. If you tell them, it's like, baby, I really need you to climb that 20-story building to go get that flower on the top. There are guys who have climbed mountains to get a certain flower because a woman said she liked it. There are guys who have started entire wars. We talked about this before. Who've started entire wars because the sweet the sweet words of a woman is like, a woman can get a guy to do absolutely, can calm him down or can rile him up by the things she says.
Yeah.
Men destroy people by the thing. Men destroy people by the things we do. Women destroy people by the things they say. Men save people by the things we do. Women save people by the things they say. 100%. So that agreeableness, that that more softness, that is a huge green flag for me, because I see how I've experienced how powerful it can be. I've gone from 100% enraged, about to start some stuff in a club with 3 dudes. It's like it's go time. We're about to wreck this place, to being like melting like butter in the middle of this woman's hands because of the way she acted with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just like that.
Yeah. It's like when we had that interview with Pete Taylor, which is going to be coming out here pretty soon.
Hmm.
Make sure you're on the lookout for that. He talks about that submission versus surrender. Like
Yes.
if you feel like you have to nobody wants to submit because it means that you lost the argument. But if you surrender, there was never an argument to begin with. That's that
Yeah.
agreeableness that you're talking about. Like, hey, if I think I'm right, I'm going in this direction. Do you trust me enough to know that I'm going to get us to that thing safely?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't trust that man to begin with, then you shouldn't be following that man. But if it's a
Yeah.
man that you trust, that he has been able to show you that he is capable of doing the things that he said he's going to do, you can follow that man. So why not
Yeah.
just surrender to the thing that he's trying to get you to instead of fighting, which causes you to have to submit? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And it's not just women and men either. It's like man to men. It's women and women too. Because like I was saying this morning, we hopped on our meeting and I was in a good mood because I was surrendering to I want to be in a good mood. I don't want to fight about anything. I don't want to. I don't want there to be an issue. As we're trying to do our work. So sometimes you're surrendering to yourself, knowing that if I'm more agreeable, if I am more in a better mood and positive about what we're doing, then it's going to be easier to work with me. It's going to be easier to work with your coworkers or your boss, especially your boss, man. That's one thing that I haven't had to deal with in my current business, but I've dealt with in the past, where everybody wants to be an individual. Everybody wants to feel special and unique, but there are people who you feel like are in a place of power that will try to just get you to do whatever they want you to do. And so you feel like it has to be a fight, and you feel like you have to submit to what they're saying, and you don't like that
Hmm.
feeling. Whereas if you're like, okay, if what they're asking me to do is going to benefit me by keeping them off my ass, I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, I'll do it. Hey, cool, whatever. That's not you being an ass kisser. That's doing your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've ran into a lot of people that just feel like they have to fight with their boss all the time. It's like, no, man. Like, if you do it right, they'll teach you how to take their job.
Yeah. Everybody has to
You know
submit to
what I mean?
somebody. That's just how it
Everybody's got
goes.
to submit to somebody. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? What's that?
Well, I'm sorry. Surrender. Probably
Yeah,
submit was
yeah,
the
yeah,
one.
yeah. Everybody's got to
Save
surrender.
submit for the bedroom, brothers. Surrender. That's what we're talking
Right,
about.
right. But what is it like if the boss is yelling at your manager, the manager's yelling at you, you're yelling at your kid or your wife, the wife is yelling at the kid's yelling at the dog. Everybody feels it. But
Oh
if you're
yeah,
able to
that
flip it before, yeah, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like it
I
just
saw
carries all the
that.
way
It's
down.
like yeah, boss yelled at the husband, husband yelled at the wife yelled at the
Right,
son, son kicked the dog.
right. You know what I'm
Everybody's
saying?
catching
Everybody's
it.
catching it. So, but if you surrender to the fact that, hey, I'm here to do my job, you don't have to like anybody that you work with.
Hmm.
You should like your spouse and your partner and the person that you're trying to grow with, but there's a difference between when you feel like you have to fight for something and when it's better to just, okay, go with the flow. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So being that ability to go with the flow is definitely a green flag.
Yeah, definitely, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. So, like I said, we were talking about and a lot of these things we're talking about overlap into not just romantic relationships and everything like that, but into friendship dynamics, into business, into a lot of these different things like that. Some of these same red flags that you see in or green flags that you find in women are the same things that you're going to be looking for in other people at the same time. It's like because
Yeah,
like I said, that agreeableness. Am I always beef? Am I always arguing with you? It's like
right,
why would I be friends with somebody that I'm always arguing with? That makes
right.
no sense at all. Is like it's always a fight. It's always something going on. We can't agree.
Unless you just like to fight.
You mentioned this in a podcast because we can't agree on nothing.
Oh yeah,
It's like, but it's like that. It's like, that's not true. We agree on a lot of stuff, just not this.
right, right. It can be frustrating at points where you're like, I think this is a really good idea. Just agree with me. But there,
Mhm.
there should be a little bit of a challenge, I think, with just about
Yeah.
every argument that you have. Otherwise, you're
Mhm.
going to get too comfortable. You will find yourself in another echo chamber
Yeah.
of I'm right, you're wrong, and
Mhm.
then that does you no good. If you think you're right, then you think your work is done. Your work
Mhm.
is never done. Your personal, your self mastery is never done.
Yeah.
So don't even think that you're right about anything
Yeah.
because then you stop learning about it.
Facts. And to even put a caveat on the agreeableness, because I think a lot of guys hear agreeableness and they think like, oh, she's got to agree with everything I say. No, that's not what we're talking
No.
about. We're
Yeah.
talking about even if she disagrees with what you say, either trust you enough to go that direction, or a lot of times even the way she convinces you to do something else in not an aggressive way where it's like, hey, you're wrong and da 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 da. It's like, say, hey, have you thought about this? It's like, I know you were looking at doing this thing. I did some research into this thing. Have you thought about? And it said that this and this and this may be an issue with that. Did you look into that already? And you'd be like, no, I didn't even look into that. It's like, I did not think about that. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like I was so focused on this thing that I didn't even think about that. It's like, you know what? Let me look into that. Let me get back to you. It's like, a woman can change your whole direction just by, the way, like I said, just not, you're wrong. You didn't think about this. You never think, da 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 da. You just do shit. It's like that doesn't. It's like that's not gonna. But for some guys, especially like a guy like me, is like that's gonna either turn me off so much or make me want to do the opposite thing.
Right.
It's like
right. I'm gonna do that in spite now.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of us, like I said, those women that are agreeable, it's like that's a huge thing. So I just want to put that caveat because a lot of guys be like, oh, well, she has to agree with everything I say. Then no, that's not what we're talking about. It's not always what you say; it's how you say it is more the agreeable thing, to put it bluntly.
There are times that I look at. Last thing I'll say about that, like there are times where I'll look at conversations between me and my wife as like a chess match, where like I know she's gonna ask me questions that are gonna make me think about it. If I can think about it before she makes me think about it, then I've won. But it's not winning as in like, ha, I'm better. It's like, oh, I was able to think ahead because that's what she would do. She's really good at planning this stuff for the future. So I'm like, okay, let me think ahead so I can answer that to it. And if there's anything that I've missed, then it's just another path that I have to take. But it's always good. I think it's always good to have somebody that like disagrees with you a little bit so that you can make sure you're getting the full scope of whatever it is that you're trying to figure out, especially if it's life moves.
Oh yeah.
You need somebody to bounce that off of for sure.
Mm-hmm. Don't let Edmund fool you when he answers the question that his wife, you knew his wife was going to be like, ha, I bested you.
Score.
He's walking out the room like, yeah, got her.
But I wouldn't be able to do that if I was running into those roadblocks before. You know what I'm saying? Because like we said, like some people are just like, yeah, let's just go, and I'm like, no, what's the plan? I need to know what my next steps are. Otherwise,
some people, huh? It's like nobody on this call at all does any of that.
Maybe one of our viewers.
We'll just jump. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out on the way down. That doesn't describe either one of us. Not at all. It's like nobody named Travis.
But go ahead with your transition.
Yeah. So the last part we're talking about is kind of the importance of keeping your circle small. One big thing that is really become a challenge in relationships, whether like I said in all relationships, is keeping your circle small, but also keeping it private. It's like I would say is a huge one, because now social media and it's not even just worrying about what her friends are saying, what her mom's saying, what her supposedly gay friend is saying. Any of that stuff. A lot of times it's like, what is social media saying? There's so many people that put their business out on Front Street, on internet, on Instagram, on Snapchat, or whatever it may be. And that is not keeping your circle small. That's people are like, I've lost track how many videos I've seen of women be like, well, I really wanted to get some feedback for the situation that I find myself in. So they'll get on Reddit, or they'll get on Instagram, and it's like it's a private account, so my husband doesn't know. I just wanted to get feedback to see if any other ladies have had the same situation. And it's like, you're getting feedback from every Tom, Dick, and Harry out here in the world who you don't know what their relationship is like. You don't know if they've been divorced 4 times, or they're they don't even like men. They're a lesbian after you, or whatever. Maybe you're just asking for information from, like I said, I think we talked about in a previous episode. That'd be like me asking advice from like finding a wino in an alley and be like, hey, bro, what do you think about me investing
in
this
geopolitics?
Yeah, what do you think about me making this investment and buying this house and doing this thing? So what do you feel about this? You're gonna ask the homeless guy in a box that has proven nothing to you that he knows anything about what your situation is for advice. That's what people are doing on the internet every day.
Yeah.
And that's not keeping your circle small, man. You know,
Yeah.
you're asking advice from everybody, and then you wonder why your life is chaos or stuff starts going sideways for you because you take stupid advice from stupid people.
For real.
You know,
It,
you gotta be careful.
the one bad thing that the internet did was give everybody a voice. Not
Oh,
everybody deserves a platform. Not
mhm.
everybody. Some people know they don't deserve a platform, so they come in anonymous, or they
Yep.
have, no, they don't have any pictures or videos or proof of any social proof of their own of what they're doing. It's just
Yeah.
a crazy pixelated
How do I know you're not a bot?
profile picture.
How do I
Yeah,
know you're not a bot?
and they got 2 followers, but they're following 10,000 people. You know what I mean? And they're
Hmm.
just, and the other person that they're being followed by is their other bot account. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's
Facts.
just, it's ridiculous. Like, you see, that's why I love the trend right now that's going on, where people are like, post the content, like, do the thing, do whatever
Hmm.
that you're trying to do, because the people that you're afraid of, whatever their opinion is, they don't matter. And they're
Yeah.
showing like proof of that they don't matter. Somebody has some crazy comment under a very popular video. They go to that person's page and it's like, I see you've done nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. But you have all these comments and all this other crap. But you're contributing nothing to society. You are a waste of space. Post the content. You're gonna make money. You're gonna attract the people that you actually want to attract. You're gonna get the message out to the people that you need to. It's just gonna take time. Do it. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Because these people don't matter. They're the equivalent of your high school graduating class. You don't talk to none of them anyway. You're hardly friends with them. You only see them on Facebook, and they're not talking to you directly. It literally makes no difference
Mhm.
what they're saying to you.
I heard I think it was Les Brown said he's like, man, when you tell people your problems, he's like 50% don't care and 50% are glad it's happening to you.
Right.
Not them.
Glad it ain't me. I agree. I've
You know,
definitely
it's,
been guilty of that. So,
you know,
you know,
and it's one of those things where you got to be careful where you're getting your information from, where you're getting your feedback, where you're getting your advice from. That's what I mean by keeping your circle small. Is like you shouldn't be listening to everybody about everything. You know, yes,
yeah,
us, doing research and hopping on about, investments and different things like that. That's one thing. But you getting marriage advice from some random person on TikTok, probably
yeah,
not the best idea. Do you even know if they're still married? Have they ever been married? You don't know anything about these person, or you're putting your stuff out there and getting bad advice. Like I said, that's one thing. Is like how many people are in your bedroom?
yeah,
While you and your girl are supposed to be, the confidants that you're supposed to have in your relationship is you and the person you're in the relationship with. Is like outside of that,
instead,
that's extra. Is like, but that should be the first one. Is like the first one. If you have a problem with the person that you're sleeping next to, the first person you should be bringing that up with is the person you're sleeping next to.
yeah. Not you just realize you got cheated on, so you go live, and now 100 people are in there with you, seeing you look like a fool,
Mhm.
and hopefully you not committing a crime or anything like that. But you start airing your business out, thinking that she's gonna be the one that gets made fun of. No, sir, you are the one that got cheated on, or you are the one that got cheated on, miss. Everybody is gonna think you're the fool, and now you're putting yourself on blast.
Yeah.
So, like, for dealing with that person in the first place, the first thing they're gonna do is jump down your throat about accountability, and
Mhm.
they ain't gotta be accountable for nothing because they're on an invisible screen taking pot shots at your life.
Mhm.
Keep it in the family, or keep it in house,
Yeah.
because nobody cares and everybody's glad it's not happening to them,
Yeah.
like you said.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be that extent. It's just even like, oh man, I can't stand women complain, or it was gonna be something to complain about in relationships, whether it be a
Mhm.
dude complain about something his girl's doing, or girl or a woman complain about something her man's doing. She's complaining about the fact that you don't do the dishes or you didn't put the seat down or anything like that. If she goes to the right person, let's say she talks to the right person, they'd be like, is this really the biggest problem you have in your relationship? Then your
Mhm.
relationship's not that bad. The fact that he didn't put the
Mhm.
seat down is like she goes to the wrong person, like maybe her friend that hasn't had a man in 10 since 1980, or her mom who's been divorced 3 times and hates her dad and all this other stuff like that,
Yeah.
doesn't even want to see her happy, is mad that she's in a relationship with you. And now you go from, is that the worst thing in your relationship, the fact that he leaves a toilet seat up, to like, he is so disrespectful, he disrespects you, he has no respect
He
for you.
doesn't care about you. He's probably
If
cheating on you.
you've told him that 50 times and he doesn't listen to it, it's because he doesn't respect you. Da 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 da. He shouldn't be taking that. Da da da. You go tell him about himself and don't allow him to do. And next, you're in a fight that you didn't even expect in your relationship because of outside voices that aren't respectable.
Yeah.
It's like there should be, if your relationship is in a good spot, if you're dealing with somebody, you should have people out there who want to see you win and succeed in the thing that you're trying to get into. If you're getting into business and you're talking to somebody about business, you want to be talking to people who want to succeed and make the business happen, not people who are always trying to, find everything wrong and freak you out about it. It's like, well, man, all businesses fail, and where are you going to find the money to do that? How are you going to do this? They never have anything constructive to add to that thing. That person doesn't actually want to see you win.
Yeah.
Just like in relationships, if everything is a problem in their relationship, and you really got to look at who you're getting your advice from. Is like, have they done the thing you want to do successfully? Why are you getting advice from your cousin who has 6 baby mamas and one on the way? What is he going to be able to tell you about relationships that's going to be helpful for you to actually maintain and keep the relationship that you have?
Right.
It's
and
like,
we talk about,
or find a woman that you actually want to be in a relationship with.
Yeah. And we talk about that accountability. How accountable is he in his situation with, with that many kids or that many baby mamas
and running
all
from
that kind
child
of stuff.
support?
It's like,
Running. He's got to leave.
You know what I'm saying? I
He's got to
can't.
leave. He's got to leave. He's got to leave the state every 6 months, so they don't find him.
Exactly. It's unfortunate, but so definitely keep your circle small. It's important to make sure that nobody's and having people that aren't going to be telling your business to everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't talk to people who, don't talk to people who learn their life lessons from making you make your mistakes. They're learning from you, but you took their advice. That's not nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you say, hey man, I think you should invest in Bitcoin. I'm not invested in Bitcoin. I'm going to see how you do before I move.
Oh, one of those people.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They got all the best advice in the world, but they're doing it from the couch.
Yeah.
You know?
Man. The more you can be very aware and very regulated in who has access to your life and your relationships and whatever you're doing in your life, and then picking people who, like I said, are doing the thing that you want to do. Either they're in the relationship that you want to be in, or they've been married for a long certain amount of time, or whatever it may be, or are successful in investing in Bitcoin or starting a business or whatever it may be. Find the people who have done it already to get your advice from, not the people who, and man, some of the most expensive advice is free advice, bro. Some of the most expensive advice is free, unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you should stop it. Don't say that. Whatever you're gonna say, don't. Don't do that. All right. what did
you're like, shh, don't you still owe child support?
Right. I like from this dumb show I was watching before, where this lady would, every time somebody would start to talk, she would go, hush, puppy. It's just shh. They just don't even do it. I know you're thinking, stop it. Don't hurt yourself. Don't give me no advice.
Man. But yeah, man, it's one of those things that, like I said, that's really why I wanted to have this conversation, was not just the drama surrounding this, but I felt like there were some lessons in there that a lot of people aren't talking about. They're just talking about how dramatic it is, and he did this and she did this. He probably cheated on her and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, let's talk about how did they get there? How do you even get to that situation where you're getting arrested for fighting in an airport, for assaulting somebody in an airport? And how do you get in a situation as a man to where your girlfriend, the woman you probably just slept with last night, is getting arrested for assaulting you in the airport? How do we find ourselves here? And what can we learn about not finding ourselves here? And if we are in that situation, what can we do to change that? That's where I'm at with it.
100%. Yeah. It's how do we be better men off of this honestly poor example of management of emotions, emotional regulation, and forward thinking. I would definitely say forward thinking, because as we said before, it's thinking 10 steps ahead, 2 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, all right, if I let her hit me in this airport, what happens next? You know what I'm saying? Is who's getting arrested and who's about to be on camera, who's going to be on TMZ type of thing, because that's where you're at now with it. You know, whether it's
Yeah.
y'all are famous or she's famous,
Mm-hmm.
y'all are going to be on the internet regardless. And
Yeah.
the more well known you are, the worse it's going to be. So you need to be thinking about, you know, if he cheated or she cheated or they've been hitting on each other before, whatever that it is, you need to be thinking like 10 steps ahead. Like, hey, if I fuck up on this trip, what happens? Because we got
Yeah.
a lot of flights to catch at bare minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and keeping your circle small so that stuff like this doesn't happen. It doesn't spread even wider, because there's definitely people who may be in your circle that want to see you fail.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that they can go, well, what did that happen to me though? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you got to really look at what you have to lose, because it's like, you know, she's definitely more famous than him from the sounds of it. Because I didn't know he was until this whole situation happened. That might just be me, because I barely know. The only reason I know who she is because she's just so unbelievable. Unbelievable. But it's one of those things like, you have a lot to lose. They both have a lot to lose. It's like, you know, how many sponsorship deals? I mean, I'm sure she got some calls after getting arrested for that. It's like, so be careful dealing with somebody who has nothing to lose, because you will always lose way more, whether you're the guy or the girl or whatever the situation may be. Is like, be careful messing around with people who have nothing to lose or are willing to risk it all for something stupid.
Yeah. Throw their whole life away over,
you know what I mean? Because I think she's sponsored by like Nike and all these different things like that. It's like, I'm sure her manager got some calls like before she, by the time that jail cell closed, clink, I'm sure her people were already getting calls about like, hey, we need to have a conversation on Monday.
Right. And this isn't even the first time she got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, she messed up her chance to go to the Olympics the first time behind some BS. You know? So just think, kids. Take a deep breath and think. It's not that hard.
Well, and it's one of those things like, with him, is this a woman that you need to have in your circle? If she's willing to jack herself up this bad, what does she want to do to you?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because she's more famous than you. Let's just be real. And she's willing to throw that all away and jack that up for herself. Is like, so if you were to become more famous than her, what do you think she's willing to do to you? If she's willing to do that stuff to her and risk her career, her sponsor, her money, jack up her money like that, what is she willing to do your life?
You're not special. God forbid she ain't got nothing to lose. She will definitely take your shit down. You know, God forbid you got a good job and any type of stability. That's out the window with one call to the police with some type of allegation. You know what I'm saying? Because jobs don't even play with that anymore. They don't want to see how it turns out, because whether you was right or wrong, you got caught up in the situation. You getting your pink slip today. You know what I mean?
It easily could have turned around to where it's like, if he had just pushed her and just pushed her off of him, this easily could have turned around in a situation where he could have ended up being the one in cuffs, or both of them in cuffs.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and we've already seen how unforgiving the world, and especially the internet, is to guys who find themselves in situations, even if it's not necessarily, even if the verdict hasn't been brought in that he's actually guilty of the thing. The internet does not care, bro. They will drag your name through the mud
just because they can,
and not apologize afterwards when they find out that you didn't do the thing that you got accused of.
Again, accountable. Why do I have to be accountable to millions of strangers? Or as a stranger, why do I have to be accountable to this person that got in trouble? They're the ones that's on trial, not me. So they'll say whatever they want to say. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just hope everybody takes this as an opportunity to realize that, like, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Just find somebody who is for you, will hold themselves accountable, and just wants to support you. And I know it feels like it's hard because you got to wade through a lot of different types of people before you find that person. But I think the digging is worth it. I know the digging is worth it. And even when you find that special person, y'all are still going to have your tiffs, you know, but at the same time, find somebody who was going to want to work it out too. and not just leave because there's some type of inconvenience or argument or try to put hands on you because they want to be right. It's not worth it, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So yeah, man. So we're gonna wrap this up because I gotta go call Sha'Carri real quick because I'm sure she's single and she needs a real man. I might put her in her place. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, we're not gonna get
Submits.
And there goes our Nike sponsorship. Damn it.
Oh man, I'm joking. only the bedroom. Only the bedroom.
Just do it.
Maybe if you submitting her in the bedroom, she wouldn't put hands on him at the airport.
Terrible. Yeah. Tell the people where they can find us.
I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking. I don't know. I don't know either one of these two people. I'm just a guy talking shit on the internet.
Terrible. We were doing so well. So well. Where can
Ended
they
on
find
a high.
us?
Ended on a high, man. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in, man. You can find us everywhere, just not anywhere near Sha'Carri.
Right. Or prison.
or prison. Yeah, man. You can find us here on YouTube, Instagram. So shout out to all our Instagram followers, all our people on Facebook watching, all the people on YouTube watching. Instagram probably are really behind because I didn't actually start the stream until a while of us being into it because it doesn't start automatically, but that's on me. You know, it's like accountability. That was on me. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll learn. It's probably not. But yeah, and you know, we are switching platforms for our Legion community and for our course day Intergate. So have some patience with us, guys. We should have that done by the end of the month, before the end of the month, hopefully.
That'll be done before the end of the week.
Before
the end of
that
next
back
week,
up and going.
whenever this comes up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So you'll be able to check us out there. Feel free to, you know, if you have any context or any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop it down in the comment section of the live stream. Hit us up on, you know, shoot us a DM on Instagram, and just, you know, tap in with us, man. Let us know if you found this valuable, if there's any other topics you think we should cover or anything that we're missing. Be respectful because I will pull your card. If you get on there talking crazy with me, that's just how, you know, I have no problem doing that. As I've said, I would love haters. I have no problem interacting with you guys.
Interacting.
It's like, so if you hate, you hate, you know, it's like, that is what it is. You know, you can say whatever you want to as long as you back it up in the parking lot. But yeah, shoot us a message. Just tell us what you think about this, man. Like and subscribe because we always forget to say that to the channel. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers. Our goal is to hit that within the next 90 days. So that's what we're shooting for. What we're pushing forward to hit that milestone. Because, you know, we're coming to you guys giving this sauce free 99, bro. Is only cost of entry is to subscribe, man. And some of y'all ain't even doing that because we've seen that like over 60% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you're actually tapping in and watching this thing up till now, hit the subscribe button. Help some brothers out, man. Because, you know, we ain't got
in the window and come talk to us
because we ain't got that Sha'Carri money yet. So, you know, so help us out. Give us a hookup so we can keep this flowing, keep this going, and keep helping guys fight their fight. Because at the end of the day, you much rather be a warrior in a garden.
In a garden in a war.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace out, guys.
Sha'Carri, Edmund said call him.
I did say that.